Are you worried about breaking your exercise habits over the holidays? Are you looking to avoid putting on that extra weight from too much Christmas cookies and pie? You're not alone. In this video, I'll share my personal plan to stay fit over a month-long trip over the holidays, and then just share general strategies that you can use to make it through the holiday season on track for your goals, and most importantly, guilt-free. So personally, I'll be traveling halfway across the world from the South Pacific where I live to spend 3 weeks in England with my family and friends. And I really like to be active, so here's what my plan is. The in-laws' house has really good access to a nice nature trail, so I'll try to do at least 2 runs per week. My partner's family does an annual Christmas morning jog, so that's an easy win. Starting a healthy Christmas tradition is what they call a win-win. There's also a bit of outdoor climbing within walking distance, so if it's not too wet, as it often is in England, I'll try to get in a climb or 2 as well. For strength training, I'll just see what we have available, but I should be able to get in at least some push-ups, dips, and table rows. I also plan to do a bit of stretching while the family is just sitting around by the fire in the living room. My partner and I have agreed to hold each other accountable and remind one another to do stretching during our downtime, so it should be pretty easy to do with her keeping me motivated. Then for the 3rd week, where we'll be visiting Bristol, a city I used to live in, I'm just going to try to organize some of my socializing around time at the climbing gym. 2 climbing sessions with friends will have me sorted for the entire week. So maybe your plan looks a bit like mine, or maybe yours looks totally different, and that's fine. Here are the principles I use to make mine. First, we want to have a plan. Whether you're traveling for the holidays or staying local, many of our cultural traditions and family and friends will have us gathering and celebrating over the holiday season, but probably doing a large amount of sitting, eating, and in many cases, drinking. While these can be really cherished times with loved ones, they're not always the most physically healthy. If you're on a roll with your fitness regime, the last thing you want to do is to get out of your habits for a week or 2 and then find yourself struggling to motivate and keep training in the new year. So make a plan. How many days will you be away? What obligations do you have, and with which groups of people? How much free time will you have? How much free time can you demand? What access to fitness equipment will you have? Is there a place to run, or a gym, etc.? Everyone's circumstances, and thus their plans, will vary. Next, get your training done early. If you get it done first thing, you won't have to worry about it later in the day. The first activity of your day is the least likely to be skipped. Plus, you can often take advantage of time when others are sleeping or sipping coffee to sneak in a cheeky workout. Next, keep it simple. If your normal workout is 2 hours of high-intensity interval training, followed by kickboxing and then a sauna session, you might struggle to fit that in on a busy day. But if there's a gym near your Aunt Susie's house where you can pop off for a quick 1-hour session on Christmas Eve, by all means. As you'll know from my videos, my resistance training is primarily done with a pull-up bar, rings, dumbbells, and a bench. I won't have any of those available in rural northern England where I'll be over the holidays, so instead I'll substitute simpler bodyweight movements with whatever I can find there to get the job done. It doesn't need to be optimal or exactly the same as what you normally do. Just something to stimulate similar movement patterns, keep the body challenged, and most importantly, keep me in the habit of training, sticking to a routine, and feeling like I'm working towards my fitness goals. Next, make your plan proportional to how much time you're going to be out of your normal routine. If you're just going to have dinner on Christmas Day with your family, and they live in your town, and the rest of the holiday season you're on a normal schedule in your own home, then there's literally nothing to worry about. Make that day a rest day, eat some tasty food, and then get back on the grind the next day. If you're gone for a week, then you might have room to fit 1 or 2 sessions in. But if you're due a deload week anyways, then take the opportunity to do something a bit different. Not as intense or as long, but still feel fresh. Going for a quick jog or doing some bodyweight training could be totally fine. You can also see if you can stack healthy, active activities with your family and friends. Is there anyone who you convinced to go on a run with you, or play a sport, or hit the gym in town? Could you catch up with your old childhood friends at the local climbing wall instead of at the pub? Next, accept what you plan to do and don't judge yourself for it. The last thing you want to do is feel guilty and end up enjoying the holiday less. So whatever you decide to do, decide it consciously and don't judge yourself for doing a bit less than normal. It's normal for our training to ebb and flow throughout the different seasons of our lives. Sometimes a bit of hedonism and a bit of a break is fine. Just treat the small break as what it is, and don't let it spiral into losing all motivation to continue training in the future. Accept that if you don't train for a bit, and you're eating less nutritious food and drinking a bit more, you'll feel worse. That's okay. Next, you could do a mini training block. So if your normal sport is BJJ and you won't feasibly be able to train that wherever you're going, what about doing a mini stretching block instead? 10 to 20 minutes of stretching on the floor could be very beneficial to your overall athleticism, and it is surely to go nearly unnoticed by your family members. You can even do it in front of the TV. Finally, get someone to hold you accountable. When it's time to be active and all you want to do is guzzle down another glass of eggnog, It can be helpful to have someone to remind you and pressure you into sticking to the plan. Ideally, get a training partner who's motivated to work out with you. But if no one in your physical presence will do that, have a friend text you on the day. Let us know in the comments how you're going to stay fit over the holiday season. We'd love to hear from you. Happy holidays.